Funding for HiQ is provided by Wing to Wing Foundation and the Dutch Miller Auto Group. Today, these two teams begin their quest for this season's championship on HiQ. And now, from Marshall University's School of Journalism and Mass Communications Television Studio A in Huntington, West Virginia, here is the host of HiQ, Ernie Anderson.
Thank you, Adam Nickniff. And welcome to our new home here at Marshall University for HiQ. We have two great teams today, Ironton St. Joseph and Raceland from Ohio and Kentucky, representing our first game of the new season here. And as always, we start with a warm-up round, each question worth 10 points apiece. Alex, we'll start with your team from Ironton St. Joe. Marshall University was Marshall College upon its founding and was named after John Marshall. What was John Marshall's job title at the time?
Governor.
Say again?
Governor.
Not governor. Raceland, you can take the 10 points if you know. James?
Supreme Court Justice.
He was the Supreme Court Justice, indeed. So you pick up the 10 points. You've stolen it from them. How dare you? But now you get your question on Marshall University. In what century was Marshall College founded? James?
1900s?
No? Alex?
The 19th century.
The 19th century is right. It was 1837, but the 19th century. But back to you now, James, for a question on U.S. territories and areas. The U.S. has 5 permanently inhabited territories: Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands in the Caribbean Sea. Which of the others is found in the South Pacific Ocean?
Guam?
Not Guam. Alex?
American Samoa.
American Samoa is right, so you pick up that 10. And your question on U.S. territories and areas. Which of the others is founded in the North Pacific Ocean?
Guam.
There's Guam. Yes, you got Guam. We knew that had to be somewhere in the game. All right, we're going to stay with you, Alex, for ends with the word face. A typeface with thick strokes.
Calligraphy.
No? James?
Smiley face. I don't know.
It is bold face. Now your question that ends with the word face. To mar the appearance of, as with graffiti, injure by effacing significant details.
Deface?
Deface is right. So you pick up those 10, 30 to 20 in the early going. And staying with you, James, for Shakespeare, same first and last letter. Which Shakespeare tragedy, beginning and ending with the same letter, features Prospero, Miranda, Caliban, and Ariel? After the first scene, which takes place on a ship at sea, the rest of the story is set on a remote island.
Othello?
No? Alex?
No guess.
No guess, it's The Tempest. But now I have your Shakespeare, same first and last letter. This title character is a Moorish military commander who was serving as a general of the Venetian army in defense of Cyprus against invasion by Ottoman Turks. He had recently married Desdemona, a beautiful and wealthy Venetian lady, younger than himself.
Othello.
There's Othello. So between you, you did well. 40 to 20 in the early going here on the first season of our new show here at Marshall University, a beautiful campus, and we appreciate their producing our show this year. Coming back, we will have the bonus round when HiQ returns.
It's the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville. For a limited time during the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville, get a brand new 2025 K4 starting at just $219 a month. And get an additional $750 in owner loyalty incentives on select 2025 Sorrentos and Sportages. And be sure to ask about no payments for 90 days.
Shop 24/7 at DutchMillerKia.com. The W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University doesn't simply offer another degree. It trains students to see, understand, and explain the next stories that will define our world. Advertising and public relations, media studies and production, and journalism degrees at Marshall are unique because they are earned by doing, by getting involved in the work, and by understanding the process. Contact us for additional information or to schedule a campus visit. We're ready when you are.
Welcome back to High Q, and we are after the first round of play, the bonus round 40-20 in favor of the team here from Ironton St. Joe. And Alex, team captain, is going to tell us all about Ironton and teammates, anything he wants to brag about his school. Alex, the microphone is yours.
My name is Alex. This is Blake. This is Gavin, and that's Ian. We're all juniors at Ironton St. Joseph. It is a small parochial school in Ironton, Ohio, and it actually turns 100 years old this year.
Coincidentally, so do I. Yeah. James is the team captain for Raceland, the Rams, and tell us all about Raceland.
All right, I'm James. On my right here is Gunner. Then we have Mason, and at the end we have Lily. We come from Raceland, Kentucky, which is right outside Ashland.
Well, welcome. We welcome both teams here, and we are going to start now with the bonus round. We'll start with a 15-point clue, and James, Raceland, we're going to start with you. Here's your 15-point clue on U.S. state capital. The area was settled by Dutch colonists who, in 1614, built Fort Nassau for fur trading, and in 1624 built Fort Orange. In 1664, the English took over the Dutch settlements, renaming the city in honor of the Duke, the future James II. James, which U.S. state capital? And if you're not sure, you can skip to the 10-point clue.
Sure, but if you want to go for 10, we can. We're going to go for 10.
10? It's the oldest surviving settlements of the original British 13 colonies. No other city in the U.S. has been continuously chartered as long. The city lies toward the north of the navigable Hudson River.
Jamestown?
We guess or get to the 5-point clue.
Do you want to just go for the 5? Yeah. We'll just go for the 5.
Name the capital of New York.
Albany. Albany. Yeah.
Albany is right.
Yeah.
So you pick up 5 on that. Now you get to go to the other part of the bonus. And we rarely have an audio bonus, but we have one for you here. And this is an audio bonus featuring legendary game show host Bill Cullen. How many of you kids, anybody remember Bill Cullen? He was the original host of The Price is Right back in the 50s. And quite the game show. My buddy Adam Needham, who is the announcer on our show this year, game show author, did a book on Bill Cullen, his favorite guy. So listen to this clip and tell me what large animal he is describing, which can weigh between 3,000 and 4,000 pounds.
Although fossil remains have been found in many places in Asia and Europe, including England, the animal is now confined to Africa and thrives now only in the central part of the continent. It thrives best, of course, in water, lakes and rivers mostly, and the name actually means river horse. A river dweller it is. A member of the horse family it is not. Present-day zoologists place the animal in a category all its own.
The hippopotamus.
That's right. Good for 5. Now we'll hear a 10-pointer. Whom is Bill Cullen talking about? He was an American essayist, lecturer, philosopher, abolitionist, and poet who led the transcendentalist movement of the mid-19th century.
Back to 19th century New England, to the gentleman celebrated among his contemporaries as the Sage of Concord, lecturer, essayist, and poet. The group which gathered around him came to be known as the Transcendentalists. The titles of essays give a clue to the philosophical problems which concerned him most: self-reliance, experience, nature, in thought and action, conscience, and a sense of responsibility. He thought these should be the guides to conduct.
Who is that man Bill Cullen was talking about?
Emerson.
Emerson is right. Ralph Waldo Emerson gets you 10. You're up to 40. We have a tie score at the moment. Will you break it with this 15-point clue? Bill is discussing what legend, Spanish for the golden.
Near Lake Guatavita, high in the Colombian mountains of South America. The lake, so the legend went, was a sacred place, and into it the Indians threw offerings of gold and emeralds. Now, whenever a new Indian chief was chosen, nobles and priests of the tribe carried him to the shore of the lake, coated him with a sticky gum, after which the chief was dusted with powdered gold. He was then rowed to the center of the lake and plunged into the water to remove his rich covering.
What is Spanish for the golden? Get you 15 points if you know.
El Dorado.
El Dorado is right.
That's
Nice job. So you pick up those 15, brings you to 55. Now, back to our 15-10-5, and Alex and team, it's for you on Greek mythology. Here's your 15-point clue. He was the one-eyed giant son of Poseidon and Theusa. One of the Cyclopes described in Homer's Odyssey. His name means abounding in songs and legends, many voiced or very famous.
Can we have the 10.2
Sure.
clue, please?
He first appeared as a savage, man-eating giant in the 9th book of the Odyssey. In Homer's epic, Odysseus lands on the island of the Cyclopes during his journey home from the Trojan War, and together with some of his men enters a cave filled with provisions. When this giant returns home with his flocks, he blocks the entrance with a great stone and, scorning the usual custom of hospitality, eats 2 of the men. Next morning, the giant kills and eats 2 more and leaves the cave to graze his sheep.
Can we have the 5-point clue, please?
Odysseus encountered him on his return from Troy and became trapped in the giant's cave. To escape, the hero plied him with wine, and as he slept, plunged a burning stake into his eye. Name this 10-letter giant, beginning with the letter P.
Philomedes.
Say again?
Philomedes.
No.
Polyphemus.
Polyphemus is right. So you pick up that for 5, James. And you move on now to your 5, 10, 15 part, and it's on presidents. 2 U.S. presidents' wives were named Abigail. Millard Fillmore was the second. Who was the first who served as president from U.S. 1797 to 1801?
Adams.
More specific?
John Adams.
John Adams is right. Now, when this 60s president outlined his goals in the State of the Union address, one was education programs to help the poor. He called it the Great Society. Name this Texan.
Lyndon Johnson.
That's who it is. Now, for the 15, he was the only former Speaker of the House to serve as president. Name this 11th U.S. president who served from 1845 to 1849.
Polk.
Polk is right. So that brings you up to 90 with that additional 15 points. And we move on now to the 15-10-5, and it's your turn. This movement originated with a group of Paris-based artists whose independent exhibitions brought them to prominence during the 1870s and 1880s. The name of the style derives from the title of a famous Frenchman's work.
Is it impression? We'll take the 10.
Radicals in their time constructed their pictures from freely brushed colors that took precedence over lines and contours, following the example of painters such as Eugène Delacroix and J.M.W. Turner. They also painted realistic scenes of modern life and often painted outdoors.
We'll take the 5.
Mary Cassatt, Paul Cézanne, Edouard Manet, Claude Monet, and Camille Pissarro were among the central figures of the development of what art movement?
Impressionism. We should. It's okay.
Go to your 15-10-5 now, and it's silent first letter. For 5 points, from the Greek for wing lizard, it existed during most of the Mesozoic. From the late Triassic to the end of the Cretaceous, the earliest vertebrates known to have evolved powered flight. The silent letter is P.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl is right. Now for 10, any of the many species of tiny flying insects in the dipterid suborder Nematocera. Most often they fly in large numbers called clouds. They can be both biting and non-biting. The Smithsonian Institution, describes the eye ones as non-biting flies, no bigger than a few grains of salt, attracted to fluids secreted by your eyes.
Gnats.
Those pesky gnats, yes. And for 15, either of the 2 species of large African antelopes of the family Bovidae are among the most specialized and successful African herbivores and are dominant in plains ecosystems, also called wildebeest. Any guess, James?
What? Guessing? I have no clue.
Okay, time. Alex, do you know for 15?
New.
New is right. The G is silent there for GNU. You pick up 15 on that, and that brings you to 55. We'll have a sports bonus coming up, but first, Alex and team, your classical composer question. Here's your 15-point clue. This German composer, pianist, and conductor of the mid-Romantic period spent much of his professional life in Vienna and composed for symphony orchestra, chamber ensembles, piano, organ, violin, voice, and chorus. A virtuoso pianist, he premiered many of his own works.
Can we have the 10-point clue, please?
The Hungarian dances are among his most appreciated pieces.
Can we have 5, please?
He is sometimes grouped with Johann Sebastian Bach and Ludwig van Beethoven as one of the 3 B's of music, a comment originally made by the 19th century conductor Hans von Bülow.
Brahms?
Brahms is right. So you pick that up for 5. That brings you to 60, and perhaps more on our bonus. It's a sports bonus. Philadelphia is one of 13 cities that hosts teams in the big 4 major sports leagues in North America. And Philadelphia is just one of 4 cities in which one team from every league plays within city limits. I'll give you 5 points for one team, 10 for another, and 15 for the other 2. 1 for 5 points when you're ready.
The Eagles?
The Eagles certainly is 1 for 5.
The Phillies?
The Phillies is right. And the other 2 will get you 15 more points. Bring you closer to the lead.
Flyers and the 76ers?
Yes, you got them all, and that brings you to 90. Nice job on sports. And we're done now with the bonus round. When we come back, the 62nd round will be coming up, and we'll give them a choice of 4 categories, and they will be able to select one of those 4. From authors by initials, famous pairs, words that rhyme with mama, and famous UN forts, or U.S. forts, when Haiku returns.
It's the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville. For a limited time during the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville, get a brand new 2025 K4 starting at just $219 a month. And get an additional $750 in owner loyalty incentives on select 2025 Sorrentos and Sportages. And be sure to ask about no payments for 90 days. Shop 24/7 at DutchMillerKia.com.
The W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University doesn't simply offer another degree. It trains students to see, understand, and explain the next stories that will define our world. Advertising and public relations, media studies and production, and journalism degrees at Marshall are unique because they are earned by doing, by getting involved in the work, and by understanding the process. Contact us for additional information or to schedule a campus visit. We're ready when you are.
Thank you. And welcome back to Haiku. After a spirited 2 rounds of play, we find 110 to 90 in favor of Raceland. So that means Alex and team, you'll get the pick of one of those 4 categories. And the way we work it is I give them 10 questions within 60 seconds. Anything they miss or pass will go over to the other team, and then the other team will get theirs. Anything they miss or pass comes back to the originating team. If you get all 10 within the 60 seconds, we give you a 20-point bonus, so a total of 120 points possible alone in this round. So, of authors by initials, famous pairs, words that rhyme with mama, or famous U.S. forts, which is your poison?
Words that rhyme with mama, please.
Words that rhyme with mama. We love our mama, don't we? All right. You ready to go? Here we go. Start the clock. Last name of the 44th president of the U.S. from 2009 to 2017.
Obama.
Punctuation mark that separates ideas or elements within the structure of a sentence.
Comma.
A domesticated South American camelid widely used as a meat and pack animal by Andean cultures.
Llama.
A Japanese city south of Tokyo beginning with Y.
Yama.
No. Nighttime attire.
Pajama.
A genus of herbivorous lizards that are native to tropical areas of Mexico, Central America, South America, and the Caribbean.
Iguana.
Say again?
Iguana.
Yes. Serious play for theater, radio, or television.
Drama.
Precedes mama in the name of an alcoholic drink of rum, orange, and pineapple juice.
Bahama.
Freshwater fish with one of the strongest bites found in bony fishes.
Piranha.
And first name of the Islamic militant who was the mastermind behind September 11 attacks.
Osama.
Osama is right. Oh, all but one of those gets you 90. Nice job. Brings you to 180. Now, the one they missed on, a Japanese city south of Tokyo beginning with Y. Any guess, James?
Yoshinawa.
It's Yokohama.
Yoko.
So you didn't pick up that. But now which category for you are the remaining? Authors by initials, famous pairs, or famous U.S. forts?
Authors by initials.
Authors by initials. And here we go. Start the clock. I'll give you the initials and a work. You give me the full name. EAP, the Raven.
Oh. Edgar Allan Poe.
NH, the Scarlet Letter.
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
HM, Moby Dick.
Herman Melville.
WW, Leaves of Grass.
Walt Whitman.
ED, Hope is the Thing with Feathers.
Emily Dickinson.
MT, Huckleberry Finn.
Mark Twain. Thank you.
HJ, The Turn of the Screw.
Henry James.
SVB, John Brown's Body.
I know Brown. Pass.
FSF, The Great Gatsby.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Full name.
Frank Scott Fitzgerald.
No. AM, Death of a Salesman.
Arthur Miller.
Right. Oh, you did well as well, picking up 80. Brings you to 190 now on the two that they missed or passed on. You get a chance, Alex and team. SVB, John Brown's Body. Any guess?
No guess.
Stephen Vincent Benet. How about FSF, The Great Gatsby?
Phil, oh wait. Frederick Scott
No, it's
Fitzgerald.
Francis Scott.
Phil with a
Mitch
P.
Fitzgerald. Well, listen, that was a good round for both teams. 190 to 180. Raceland still in the lead. And when we come back, we'll see if we can stump the experts when High Q returns.
It's the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville. For a limited time during the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville, get a brand new 2025 K4 starting at just $219 a month. And get an additional $750 in owner loyalty incentives on select 2025 Sorrentos and Sportages. And be sure to ask about no payments for 90 days. Shop 24/7 at DutchMillerKia.com.
The W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University doesn't simply offer another degree. It trains students to see, understand, and explain the next stories that will define our world. Advertising and public relations, media studies and production, and journalism degrees at Marshall are unique because they are earned by doing, by getting involved in the work, and by understanding the process. Contact us for additional information or to schedule a campus visit. We're ready when you are.
Thank you, and welcome back to our final round of High Q. And we've got a great game in progress, 190 to 180 in favor of Raceland. Now, these questions are worth 20 points apiece instead of 10 in the first round, and the same format that we followed in round one. So, Alex and team, a math question for you. Find the two solutions of x for the equation, the absolute value of the quantity, x minus 3 equals 4. Looking for the two solutions. 20 points if you get it right.
-1 and 7.
Correct, for 20 more points. Now, James, your math question. What must be added to both 100 and 220 so that the sums are in the ratio 3 to 1?
$20.
Is right. So another 20 for you. Staying with you for a question on ships. This was a 19th century two-masted schooner owned by a Spaniard living in Cuba. It became renowned in July 1839 for a slave revolt by Mende captives who had been captured and sold to European slave traders and illegally transported by a Portuguese ship from West Africa to Cuba in violation of European treaties against the Atlantic slave trade. Steven Spielberg did a 1997 movie about it starring Morgan Freeman.
Lusitania.
Say again?
Lusitania.
No. Alex?
Shawshank.
It was Amistad. But I have your question on ships now, Alex and team. After being commissioned in 1916, it remained stateside during World War I, but escorted President Woodrow Wilson to the subsequent Paris Peace Conference. The ship was deployed abroad again in 1919 to represent American interests during the Greco-Turkish War. 2 years later, she was transferred to the Pacific Fleet, under which ship would remain for the rest of her career.
The SS Freedom.
No? James?
Columbia.
It was the Arizona. Back to you, though, Alex, for a question on architecture. An obelisk is a type of this. From the Greek for one stone, examples include the Rock of Gibraltar, Devil's Tower, El Capitan, and Uluru, or Ayers Rock.
Monument?
No?
I was
James?
going to say column. Yeah. Okay. Column.
It's a monolith.
Mono.
So you had the mono part.
Stone.
Architecture for you, though, Raceland. An example of neoclassicism, it is the form of a classical temple and is located at the western end of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Henry Bacon is the memorial's architect, and Daniel Chester French designed the large interior statue. Name it.
That's Washington.
No?
The Lincoln Memorial.
Lincoln Memorial is right, so you pick up 20 on that. You have 220, they have 210. And I have a visual question for both teams now, and James, will start with you. Originally called New College, this is the oldest college in America. It got its current name from the first benefactor. Notables who graduated from there are Barack Obama, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Al Gore, and Steve Ballmer. Name it.
Harvard.
Is right.
Okay,
Have
that's
it.
what I was
You pack your car in the yard and have it. And now, your visual question. Ironton, St. Joe, and Alex, also an Ivy League school and commonly referred to by several names, is the oldest school in America to offer both undergraduate and postgraduate programs. It was first chartered in 1755 with one of those names. The next name was adopted in 1751 until settling with the final name in 1755. Notable graduates include Elon Musk and former Chief Justice William Brennan. Name it.
Yale.
Say again?
Yale.
Not Yale. You can pick up the 20 if you know.
Princeton.
Not Princeton. It's the University of Pennsylvania. And that ends the game. 230 for Raceland, 220 for Ironton St. Joe, and a well-played game. Congratulations. And we'll be back to wrap it all up when High Q returns.
It's the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville. For a limited time during the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville, get a brand new 2025 K4 starting at just $219 a month. And get an additional $750 in owner loyalty incentives on select 2025 Sorrentos and Sportages. And be sure to ask about no payments for 90 days. Shop 24/7 at DutchMillerKia.com.
The W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Marshall University doesn't simply offer another degree. It trains students to see, understand, and explain the next stories that will define our world. Advertising and public relations, media studies and production, and journalism degrees at Marshall are unique because they are earned by doing, by getting involved in the work, and by understanding the process. Contact us for additional information or to schedule a campus visit. We're ready when you are.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome back to High Q. And what a great game to start our new season here at Marshall University. We find that Raceland pulls it out by 10 points over our friends from Ironton St. Joe, 230 to 220. Next week, we'll have two more great teams, and so Raceland will see you in round two, and Ironton St. Joe will send you back to the metropolis of Ironton with your all-new High Q t-shirts and our fondest wishes and a copy of the home game. Maybe not. So Ernie G. Anderson reminding you to adopt a spayed or neutered pet for a lifetime of love. God bless you. We'll see you next time right here on High Q.
Funding for HiQ is provided by Wing to Wing Foundation and the Dutch Miller Auto Group. This is Adam Needham speaking for HiQ, an Ernie Anderson production in association with Marshall University's School of Journalism and Mass Communications.